Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with another Schoolscape webinar. So thank you so much for joining us today. I think today's topic is just so relevant for the schools out there. Recently, we ran an event called The Future of Work. And throughout the sessions that we ran, the topic came up like STEM is so critically important. But on top of that, there's skills that your learners need to be prepared for the future, that critical thinking around, those kind of skills that a normal curriculum won't always prepare a learner for unless you as a teacher are kind of bringing in those problem solving skills. And we know as teachers, you put in incredible effort into your learners to prepare them. And firstly, we're just so grateful for everything you do. And I think part of this webinar and this session is for us to try introduce you to solutions, products, companies that can maybe help you as you are in the trenches getting our learners ready for a future. So thank you for joining us. We would love it in the chat bar if you said hello and where you're from, and then some very cool tech. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little smiley face, like a emoticon. There we go. Everyone's found it. So it's as presenting, because we can't see everyone's faces. It's super cool. If you see something you love and you like, if you can just pop a smiley face, a thumbs up, anything like that, we would really, really appreciate it. Chris, welcome. Thank you for being the brave person to go first. We really, really appreciate that. Zandre, thank you. So please do say hi. There is the questions tab. So please feel free to put in a question. Just so you know, what we're going to be doing today is we've got 6 incredible companies that are going to be presenting on STEM, how they can support STEM, give you case studies of schools they're working with, and then look at how that can help you really in the classroom and in your school. And we also have, in fact, one school presenting. So we've got Julia from Weinberg Girls. So we've got a lot planned for today, and we really hope that we can help connect you with incredible companies, incredible solutions that can make life easier for you as a school. So welcome. Thank you. And first up, I'm going to invite Simon Robinson on stage. So Simon is from Inspire Africa. And I think when it comes to STEM and just the way they think about it, as a company, they do it in a completely different way. And you'll see in the background, Simon's got a whole pile of really cool tech. And I think he's going to talk into that tech. He's going to talk into STEM and how Inspire Africa can really help you. So, Simon, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pete. Just whilst my screen is uploading.
Yep, it is.
Can everyone see the full screen now? Good stuff. Okay. Listen, for those of you who've never speed dated, neither have I. Pete has given us 5 minutes, and
we're going to make you short and sweet and to the point to blow everyone away.
My team's very happy to hear that they're not going to hear the waffle over 25 minutes. It's condensed to 5. So, on your marks, get set, go, Pete. Okay, good. My clock is ticking. Hi there. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I know how busy teachers' lives are, particularly with extramurals and sport coming back online. So we have been doing this for over 5 years now. I've been in the industry. I started Inspire Africa just coming up for 3 years ago. And we are STEAM with a difference in that we effectively are bringing 4IR technologies into the classroom, and initially through the STEAM subjects. Why 4IR technologies? Well, the relevance of drones and 3D printers and robots and artificial intelligence is real. And I'll use the example of PricewaterhouseCoopers, who in their 2019 drone report said in the next 5 to 7 years, there'll be over 100,000 different types of jobs in the drone industry alone. And you can say the same for many of these other 4IR technologies. So how is our curriculum preparing students for these technologies and for these careers when they're no longer linear like the previous industrial revolutions technologies? They are exponential, they are exploding. How do you expect a school teacher, a academic head, a parent, or most importantly, a student to keep up what is relevant and what isn't? What should I be learning? What shouldn't I? How do you expect a school to prepare children when the jobs haven't been created, or the fact that in South Africa right now, and I see on a monthly basis when the figures come through, the most sought after skills right now are in the computer science fields, in the technology fields. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to have a need for accountants and for lawyers and for some of the traditional professions not using technology, but that's where the careers are right now. So we need to be introducing our students as early as possible. How do we do it? We do it by introducing it through the STEAM subjects, by teaching teachers, educators who have never ever used technology before necessarily. They've never flown a drone. They've never designed an object on a 3D printing program such as Tinkercad or Fusion 360. They've never built a robot before necessarily. Why? Because we feel that the model that we used initially 5 years ago in my instructors going into schools, teaching as an extramural, is not as effective as teaching in the core curriculum. So we teach maths teachers, science teachers, EGD and technology teachers, IT teachers. In fact, three of my colleagues are at a school down the road now doing a robotics and design project for grade 9s in art and design. So yeah, so STEAM is where we focus. Now, why do we use drones? Well, there's many different mediums and platforms you could use, whether it is a drone, whether it's a robot, whether it's teaching on screen how to code. Drones can integrate with many of the other 4R technologies, whether it's a 3D printer to build parts of a drone, whether it's using the AI on the drone, the camera on the drone to pick up the artificial intelligence. So from as young as grade 4 through to grade 12, this is where our program is being integrated. Same with our 3D printing program. I haven't got enough time to go into too much depth right now, but we've taught teachers, and I'll get on to Rustenburg Girls High School shortly. We taught 6 teachers initially. That was in January this year. They now have 57 teachers who have been taught the 3D printing program to integrate across all of the different subject matter. Just very briefly, in the last 2 and a bit years, we are now in 59 schools, a really nice mix of all boys, all girls, co-ed schools, primary and senior schools, but really bottom left is where our focus is, and that is on teachers, upskilling teachers, where we have a curriculum which is constantly growing and building. We provide them the learner management software system. We focus on coming to the school and teaching the teachers how to build, fly, code, etc., who go on to teach their colleagues and the students. Then we provide them with all of their equipment. Sorry, I am moving quite fast as I look. I've got 30 seconds left. We also brought in earlier this year the IDL, bringing in esports and gaming through an Inspire Drone League. So it's bringing tech into the curriculum. Very lastly, Rustenburg Girls, who've got 2 of our programs, so our drone coding and our 3D printing program, focus on all of their grades 8 and 9s. Some of their older grades are using them in science, maths, and EGD, but it's really exposing all of their students from the grade 8 and 9s. As I said, 57 teachers are using it as well. And it's really bringing a blended learning, bringing hardware technology into the classroom, into core traditional subjects. So that really is what we've been doing for the last few years. And I'm very surprised. I'm on 5.5 minutes and I haven't been cut off by Pete, but thank you very much.
Your time is up. Everyone. What I'd just like to say is, we are doing this like speed dating because we want you as schools really to, as quickly as possible, to see the breadth of what's out there and get like the highlights of what is there. So that was very much speed dating, just to see. But what we are going to do now is my colleague in the background, Annika, is going to post a poll. If you want more information from Simon, if you believe and you are going, wait a second, there could be value there for me as a school, I would like more, please will you fill in the poll, which is going to go live now. I think it actually is live already, where it will say, would you like the team from Inspire Africa to contact you and give you more information? Yes, please let them contact me. So the reason we do this is so that we can be POPI compliant, and also we make it just easier. If you see someone you like, you can just fill in a poll rather than have to writing down details. So Simon, thank you for being to your time. I have to admit, as a kid, I wish I had a school with drones. It would have been so exciting, and I would have learned so many skills. And I think where you spoke about that fact about there's going to be like 125,000 jobs or whatever it is linked to drones, I think it just blows my mind that these jobs exist that we don't even know about. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for being on time.
Pete. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know with a thumbs up, a smiley face, what did you think of that? So the idea of using drones to teach these STEM subjects. Rajesh, I love it, is giving us a thumbs up. I'm seeing a lot coming through on that side. So thank you very much for those that have filled in the poll. And then what I would like to do now is to introduce you to Rajesh. So Rajesh is from Resolute Robotics. They're also one of our Schoolscape top 21 companies, and we just love what they do. We love what they stand for. So Rajesh, the floor is yours for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to hand over to you if you can talk into STEM or STEAM and how you can support schools and what you have on offer.
Wonderful. Thanks, Peter. I think I'll take 5.5 minutes just to keep it going. No, I'm joking. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I think before I share my screen, I want to take some time to ask everyone to picture a world where there's been no visionaries or inventors. I mean, how dark would our world have been? By dark, I mean literally, because the light bulb wouldn't have been invented yet, right? So Thomas Edison was famously asked once, he's failed 1,000 times in creating a light bulb. Why is he still pursuing with it? And his answer was so apt. I mean, he said, I haven't even failed. I've just found 1,000 ways to find how it doesn't work. And I thought it was such an apt response, because I think in schooling sectors, it's so important that schools are so focused on product driven. We need to get that 90, we need to do this needs to be done. And I think STEM is a unique field where it's very much driven by process. So students taking time to build projects, figuring it out, taking it over time, it just doesn't happen overnight, which is such an exciting field, right? So let me quickly share my screen. I'm excited that my 5 minutes starts now. Cool. So Resolute, as you know, it's STEM, STEAM, STEMmed, STEAmed. There's a lot of words that has been added to it now, and so I'm going to stick with STEM with an addition of the D. So STEM in its essence is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and design. And it's been one of the upcoming fields over the past decade with the rise of fourth industrial revolution. And having spoken to a lot of schools and teachers and people, I think a lot of people come to a conclusion to say there's so much pressure to implement this. I mean, really, how does it really benefit the kids, and where are we heading in this field as well? And I think this summarizes the relevance of STEM. I think STEM jobs are the future of our global economy. There's a 9% growth in STEM-based jobs compared to other fields, which is only growing by 4.5%. So it's an absolute no-brainer to invest in that. And why? Because when students actually build projects, they actually develop extremely critical and creative thinking skills. And that's absolutely critical when you're building a project as well as implementing anything in real life. The collaboration aspect of it, STEM is a field where you're actually building engineering projects or doing lab work, and it really requires strong interpersonal and collaboration skills. And building a STEM project together really helps with that, and also your project management skills. I mean, project management is a field that's on the boom, and there's no secret that engineers actually get hired in a variety of jobs, from banks to data scientists to in the education field, because they have the ability to take big projects, break it down into modular structures, and then work with it. And that's one of the most important skills STEM actually teaches you. So this is just a highlight of 4 reasons why we should be focusing on STEM. I absolutely love this quote. I mean, innovation is a critical component of our economic growth. Innovative thinkers are the revolutionists that have the potential to change the world. And we at Resolute Robotics really believe in that. Our coding and robotics solutions are directly directly online with the STEM solutions that schools actually need to build. And how we do that is we have a cross-curricular approach. All our modules are integratable in natural science or technology or mathematics. You would have seen me do a presentation on this before, but I'll quickly go over it. So in natural sciences, you learn about plants, about the soils and growth and warmth. So why not teach that with a practical experience by getting them to build a smart garden, which measures your soil moisture sensor and starts to water the plant itself. You'll see all of these components are 3D designed and built, which is absolutely incredible. So this is an exciting way to take a STEAM project and to implement it in real life. And in natural sciences and technology, electrical circuits is such an in-field in science as well. So doing robotics and coding with Resolute, you learn all about electrical circuits in every single project that you build. And lastly, I don't think this video will play because I've converted it to PDF, which was wonderful. But picture a whole bunch of graphs happening, and then the explanation from my side would have been how this goes into the field of mathematics, natural science technology. It was a demo of how circuit sensors display graphs and how kids can interpret data from that. Very, very cool. Probably the best video you would have ever seen. So yeah. And then why is Resolute the perfect fit in that field? I think for us, we are not just box droppers. We don't just provide STEM kits and run away. We have a 5-step offering. We do a user-friendly online platform. Everything is video-based learning because it's such abstract concepts. We have easy to assemble robotic kits. We have a full-on curriculum from grade 1 to 12, with grade 1 to 9 being CAPS aligned. It's progressive learning and it's scalable. We have tons and tons of projects that students can do. Teacher training, I mean, this year itself, we've trained over 50 teachers, and teachers absolutely love our training. And we recently also about to be SACE credited, so you could get points for that. And what people love the most about us is the technical support that we offer. Every single one of our teachers and schools is on WhatsApp groups, and we help them throughout their journey. And Peter, these are our product offerings. Just 2 more slides. So this is from our novice, from grade R all the way to grade 7, and then in the high school section where they even learn about image processing using the Raspberry Pi. And we have a promotion. Our products start at $8.99, so they're extremely cost effective, and our license subscriptions start at 15 Rand per month per student to get started. So really excited to be presenting the solution, and thank you, Peter. Very kind of you.
That is awesome, Rajesh. Well done. And I always enjoy it when someone chose pricing and that you can afford it. So everyone, I'm renaming the session to speed dating because I can see our speakers are flying. But that's the aim of the session, is really to try let you see what's out there. And our heart as Schoolscapers, we're always looking for ways to lift the burden off you. We want to make life easier for you. So Rajesh, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm going to ask you a quick question. What is one thing that your company can do to make life easier for a school or a teacher? And you've got 15 seconds. What's the number one?
What can we do?
The number one.
I think we can make teachers feel comfortable and provide schools with a turnkey solution that our curriculum will last the test of time and that they can implement it without having any fear.
I love that. Without having any fear. All right, Rajesh, thank you so much. Once again, there is going to be a poll on the right. If something Rajesh said sounded interesting, please reach out. Remember, there is no commitment on that. You just are essentially saying you would like the team to connect with you and to give you more information. So I see biting at the bit, getting ready is Dolan. So Dolan, welcome to the speed dating environment. Dolan, I have to admit, I'm quite excited to have you on because I know you come on the STEM or the STEAM side. You come from the maths side. And I know how critical it is and what a big challenge it is for teachers to really kind of move their school forward when it comes to maths, especially when there's a learning gap. And I know that's something that you can talk into. So everyone, this one is going to be focused a little bit more on the M in STEM or STEAM. And maybe, Dolan, just an opening question would be, how do we close the maths learning gap? Over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for that. Hello, everyone. Happy Spring Day. It's the 1st of September. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it is.
The time is flying by. So, so I titled my presentation today, MindSpark Saves Students' STEM Careers. And the reason why I say that is because math is a thorn in a lot of people's flesh. That is from parents to students and teachers. How do we actually get to students and teach them maths properly? I myself, growing up, I didn't even understand what the point of maths was until I think I was about standard 6 or 7, and I asked the teacher, because nobody really answered the question, and they said, look, it's to help you problem solve, it to help you think methodically, and so on. And I still think at some point today, people still don't understand the real reason for maths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Peter's question very shortly about how we close those learning gaps. Sorry, Peter, another presentation came on here. That's not mine.
Oh, yep. It's Stephen, the misbehaving. So don't worry. I'm going to kill it for you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, another presenter. I don't worry, Dolan. As punishment for him, I'll steal 30 seconds of his time and give it to you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about how MindSpark addresses some gaps, but let me just talk to you about some background of MindSpark. So MindSpark is built on 20 years of research on how children learn. Our mission is to ensure that children everywhere are learning with understanding. Our pedagogical research and assessments has been done with over 12 million students globally. So this has helped us build intelligence of about 5 billion data points to create effective learning outcomes so that the AI or the artificial intelligence can create a personalized learning path for each student. Now that's the uniqueness versus any other sort of math software that's out there. And we're also the only company to be reviewed by Harvard, Stanford, JPEL, and ID Insights. That's 4 independent evaluation companies that has showed MindSpark to be that has proven MindSpark to work. All right. So speaking to those learning gaps, now these learning gaps widen every year if the children's foundational concepts are not solid. If you look at a child that's in grade 3, if you look at the level of understanding at grade 3 level, a class at grade 3, there's only 44% of that child or that class is learning at grade level. The rest of that class, the rest of that 56% is learning at grade levels below. So as they increase in their grades, what happens is that the learning levels widen, right? The gap in the learning levels widen, and then they're only starting to learn at levels below those grades. So what happens? They start to dislike maths and they drop out of maths. So if you look at, by the time they reach sometimes grade 7, grade 8, their learning level at that grade level is very low. So only about 6% of a class sometimes is learning at grade level. Okay. And how do we actually address this? We try and diagnose what the misconceptions are. If you look, for example, why do children choose 3.27 as a larger number compared to 3.8 when it comes to decimals? Because they think it's a whole number, it's one extra digit, it's a larger number, and so on. I'm not going to go too much into the examples. And then it creates a whole personalized path for a child, and it will resolve that gap. So how the technology works is that it diagnoses the problem, it understands the misconception, it creates a personalized remediation path for that child, and it does a post-test to ensure that the child understands that misconception before it moves to the next topic. Okay, our clients like Curo, which is one of our biggest clients, the teachers say they love it, it saves them time, and it loves how it engages the students. And they have been the most engaged math software that the students have been on in the last few years. So getting into that and getting to how the technology works, if you look, there's 3 different students here at 3 different learning levels. Okay, now what MindSpark does is that if you look at Arya Patel is an average student, Sindhu is a bright student, and Jayanti is a slightly below average student. And if you look at it, is that each child has answered the question in a different time, different number of questions, but the point is that everybody completed the concept of fractions, all right, in different times. And if you look at their learning part, each of it was personalized and each of them went through a different learning journey. Why? Because we're not following the rote learning method in school. The software is actually taking them down to the lower level, fixing those gaps that they didn't understand in the lower grades, making sure they understand it before they build on the next concept or the next topic. And that's how actually the technology has won many awards. It's even won an award with UNESCO. MindSpark Teacher Portal is amazing. So when students are using it, you can see a live class, you can see the topic progression, the topic completion. You can go into the report and see which child has answered which questions and where they're struggling with, etc., what questions they've answered right and wrong. You can activate topics, you can deactivate topics, you can set up worksheets, you can set up homework. you can do a whole lot of things in the back end here with your students. Right. So these are some of our clients. And yes, if you like to contact us, there's my details there. I'd love to speak to you guys and solve your maths problems. And we can save your children's STEM careers. Thank you.
That is awesome. Dolan, quick question. Give us some examples of schools that you are presently helping with this.
We're helping all the Curo online schools, all the DGEd schools. We've got a few Cambridge schools that's on board. And recently, what's the most exciting thing that I'm most happy about is that an American funder saw he sponsors about 5 million students in India every year. And he saw that South Africa is like the lowest in maths. And he is sponsoring 3 schools in Cape Town that's low quintile schools, rural schools, and if that works, they will roll it out to 100 rural schools, and that's where our heart is. Is to solve this problem in South Africa. Yeah,
that is absolutely amazing. Dolan, thanks so much. I see I've invited Julie on screen now. I've messed with the order a little bit, but Dolan, well done. I think if we can have a difference in rural schools, and I know some rural schools are actually coming in and are actually on screen with us today. I know we've got a mix of top-end schools, but I'm just reminded by the fact that what we are doing is shaping future generations, and what schools are doing, I honestly think the most important institutions we have in this country are schools, and they are shaping our future leaders. So yeah, excited to hear that you're going to be helping 3 rural schools. That's amazing. Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, there is a poll. So if something Dolan said was of interest, or you'd like some more information from them, or you just want to pick up the conversation, please just enter that poll. Once again, it's no obligation. Yes, they will pitch a product to you, but you can check it out and see if it is relevant. I did see a question came in. This is going to be recorded. So I know Keith asks, will we be able to get the video of this? I need to strong arm my governing body ASAP. So if you are in the same situation, this will be made available on demand and you can show it to anyone. All right, but that's enough from me. Next up, we have Julia Green. So Julia is actually at Weinberg Girls Junior School, and she's going to be presenting a solution that comes from a company called Learning Curve. So Learning Curve in South Africa, they are the company that brought in Adobe, Spark, etc. And what I really enjoy about Learning Curve is they understand schools, and they also understand that sometimes a teacher sharing a product and service actually does more justice. So Julia, I'm really excited as a teacher to see what product you are going to present to us on STEM. I know what it is and I love it. So the floor is yours.
Cool, thank you so much, Peter. So obviously I am a teacher, and so my presentations are far more teacher style, like very few words and just the most important words up on the screen. And yeah, I'm afraid I don't have all the fancy stats and statistics that everybody else has got, but I've got experience in the classroom, and I've used these solutions in the classroom, and my students love them and I love them too. So I know that one of the biggest hurdles for teachers in integrating something new into the classroom is often just a little bit of nervousness, that either you as the teacher are not capable enough to integrate this into the class, or that the students are not going to respond well and it's not going to be intuitive. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to be speaking about 3 different Adobe products that I've used in the class. And they sort of scaled from absolute beginners. So even if the teacher's clueless about using tech and how this can work for STEM solutions, the kids will be able to run with it intuitively. And and then the next 2 products are slightly more for like the intermediate phase students, or for senior students later. So the first product that I want to speak about is Adobe Spark, and I've used this with my own grade 4 students, and they actually were more familiar with it than I was, and they were able to guide me through how to use it the first time that I used it. And it's essentially a design software, which is super useful if you are creating graphics or collages or videos, and it is exceptional for students, particularly in STEM, because it's a really good way for them to create short little feedback videos that could be used as exit tickets or consolidation of content that's been covered in class. And it feeds really beautifully into the Adobe Dreamweaver, which is basically a website design, which isn't one of the products I'm going to be speaking about, but it is. It's a beautiful product that can be really cool for parents to see what you're doing in classes. The next product is called Adobe Audition, and this is essentially an audio recording and editing software. I thought that this could be really, really cool for creating a class podcast. I know that Weinberg Girls High School has got their own podcast, and this I thought was a really amazing thing for for students who are really interested in sound engineering. It's a good ground or a good baseboard for them to be jumping off of. And then it's also got really cool physics applications as people study waveforms and play with amplitude and frequency of different waves. And then the very last product that I want to quickly introduce you to is my favorite one, and it's called Adobe Aero. And basically it provides the ordinary person and the ordinary teacher with the ability to augment reality. And now you might be wondering, okay, what is augmented reality? If you've ever seen Pokemon Go, that's augmented reality. It's where you hold your camera up and you can see your whatever you would normally see through your camera, so whatever you're pointing it at, but you're able to insert little monsters or planets or scaled graphs that are moving across the screen that look integrated with whatever it is your camera is pointing at. I think it's got really cool maths applications, working with scale. You need to be able to move whatever you insert into your reality on the X, Y, and Z axes, which I think is also really, really cool. And it's fantastic for those students who are moving into the space where they are wanting to do game design. This is a very, very good starting block. It also is a wonderful introduction to coding, as the students have got trigger and response programs that they need to sort of code and plug into their little, whatever it is that they've put into their augmented reality. And learning curve is fantastic in this way because they will focus exclusively on managing customer experience, and they will make sure that basically the teacher's hands are held throughout the whole process. And so you're not feeling abandoned at all or lost as you're navigating the whole Adobe suite. And the Adobe suite is more than 30 different products, and this is just 3 of them.
That is amazing. Okay, I've got to ask you some questions. Julia, if a teacher is sitting there watching, and they want to try one product that they could use in their class tomorrow that would be easy for them to use and start from, they could do something cool. What would it be? How would they get it? And what could they do with it?
So Adobe Spark is definitely the absolute baseline. I love using it. And I love using it particularly. I'm not sure if other teachers are finding this as well, but a lot of my students suffer with social anxiety, and I think that that's been exacerbated by the pandemic. And so things like giving presentations in class is really difficult, and it's painful as a teacher when you know that a child can present but struggles in public spaces. I love using Adobe Spark for those students where they can present their oral in video form in the privacy of their own bedroom, and then submit the video to me so that I'm able to see their speaking skills and their understanding of the content without them being put through this very traumatic experience of staring at all their classmates.
That's amazing. And Julia, remind me, how much does Adobe Spark cost?
Adobe Spark is free.
That's it. So literally, am I correct in saying I can go onto my phone and download an app, or do I go to a website? Where do I go? What do I do? It's
available everywhere. So it's available, whatever device you've got, whether you've got Apple or Windows or Android, it's available everywhere.
Okay, awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, I love it. We're getting lots of smiley hearts coming through. We love it when people have free stuff, and I know Adobe has doing some amazing stuff, and what you're talking about is so practical. So thank you. Everyone, I think literally Google, check out Adobe Spark. What you can also do is on the poll, Julia is kind of the product she's had has come from the company Learning Curve. Adobe Spark is free. So if you would like some more information, if you're going, hey, wait, this could work for my school, this could work for my class, please hit that poll, just say yes, and it allows us to pass across the information. And then Julia, thank you. We love it. And I love that idea that a child can present, record, and then just show it. So for those that are battling, it just kind of, yeah, it breaks that tension. I think that is absolutely fantastic. All right. And Julia, just sorry, last question. If people are looking for support around Adobe Spark or introducing it, if they're feeling a bit daunted, is it all right if they contact Learning Curve, or is there somewhere else they should go?
Absolutely. I think they should definitely be contacting Learning Curve.
Okay, cool. Julia, thank you. Thank you for being creative. Thank you for being our only teacher teaching at the moment. I know we've got some ex-teachers. We always love hearing from schools and the solutions that you're using with regards to STEM and STEAM and how to make it dynamic. And I think that is absolutely awesome. I wish you were my teacher. So thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Cheers. All right. We've gone from one teacher and we're going to a former teacher. The burly man with the beard is Stephen. He is from Snapplify. And I think what excites me is out of Africa, every now and again, we do something awesome. And Snapplify is one of these companies that is actually going around the world. And it was started here in South Africa and is having a big impact in education. So, Stephen, I'm going to hand over to you. You have 5 minutes to talk about STEM, STEAM, and more importantly, how you guys can support. Over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Peter. I think just looking at the audience that we have today, I recognize most of the schools represented. So I think most of the schools actually are familiar with Snapplify and have a Snapplify portal already set up, which of course is completely free. But I just wanted to use the opportunity today to share some of the STEM-related resources that we make available to schools through the platform. So obviously Snapplify is essentially a content distribution portal. We help manage your content from textbooks to library books, ebooks, hard copy books. But I would like to show a couple of I think are really valuable resources that we've are able to offer schools through our partnerships with various publishers. And I'm going to start with the Zoom in content. Now, this is a Oxford University Press product. But as an ex-teacher, I just think it's really cool. It is completely offline, so you can use it offline. It is CAPS aligned. It's available from grade 10 to 12, and it covers all subjects, and obviously including all the STEM subjects. But what I really like about it, firstly, is its price. Each module is 50 Rand. I know that Rustenburg Girls, for example, the life science department each got a full set of all of them. But once it's downloaded, it's fully interactive. And it's offline. So it's just really nice to use. Nice primer when you're introducing a topic in class, and you know that with confidence it is all CAPS aligned, so the learners can take notes directly off the content, and just the interactivity makes it quite engaging. The little assessments and things like that. So this goes across all subjects, and so I'm looking at the life science one now in particular. But the interactive material, the appealing element for me also is that it is all South African based. So when you are playing audio, it's not a European or American accent, that it's actually a South African accent. Oxford University Press really did put a lot of work into this little experiment here that we can play around with. And so that's the OUP material, the Zoom in. It's 50 Rand a module. It's really a really cost-effective tool to make available for your teachers. So jumping now to some of the other content that is available. is also our through our relationship with Cambridge University Press. They have made their study guides completely free. They've got exam packs that are really a great resource to be able to use for example, preparation for assessments, or for things like even revision. So have a look on Snapplify. There's a lot of material on there. The OUP exam packs are completely free. And then things like the Siavula material, which is also free. The teacher benefits, which allow teachers to be able to take out all content from Cambridge University Press, the answer series, and all the Mind Action series material. It's all there for teachers to take out to sample for a month, absolutely free, the full catalog of all the books, which is another great resource, especially as you're coming up to exams now and starting to prepare for assessments using those extra resources. So also really proud to be working with OUP on the Zoom in material, because they've put a lot of effort into making their resources available for free for low quintile schools in the townships around South Africa. So that's also really been an exciting project. So my advice would be go to have a look at the Snapplify platform at your school. If you don't know if you've got one or not, you can contact us, or just speak to your IT department. They probably know. And if you don't have a Snapplify portal set up, you really should. Thousands of schools across the country use the platform to make their content management very easy. And it is absolutely free to set up, very, very easy to use. So I think that the easiest from there would just to be reach out to us. So Peter, I know that you're under time pressure and you're going to cut me off anyway. So I'm going to stop. You're not going to stop me.
Well said, Stephen. I absolutely love it. Stephen, just remind me, so if a school is not using Snapplify, they can get going on a free version tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no version. It's not a trial or anything. It is a free platform. So it's all there. You just go to snapplify.com and register. There's a live chat support 7 days a week from 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So if you need any help getting set up, give us a shout. And really, it's there's no reason why you shouldn't be using it.
Cool. And it's amazing that there are free resources, textbooks, solutions.
Thousands of free resources.
Yeah, I look at my kids' school and I look at their bags when they go to school and how heavy they are, and just go, I wish they could have some digital formats. But I know more
Peter,
than that.
It's also worth noting that FNB's partnered with us recently, so they've made it possible for parents to buy their books using their e-bucks and discounted up to 40%. So, if your school's looking to save money on STEM material, also, that's just another added benefit.
That's pretty cool. Get the parents to buy it and they can use it off e-bucks. I love it. All right, Stephen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on stage. Once again, if you are not yet using Snapplify, now is the time. You can literally just on the poll say yes, please let them contact me. Then what happens is Stephen and his team will send you more info, answer any questions. If you're going, do we want to use Snapplify? Is it right for our school? Is it not right for our school? What resources are available? They can help you. So, and well done, Stephen. It's always awesome seeing an amazing South African business doing incredible stuff. So thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you being on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are down into the last showcase. And this one is going to be slightly different just because we're going to put up about a 4 or 5 minute video. A lot of people are asking about, when it comes to STEM, about coding, robotics, coding clubs, how to introduce coding clubs. And there is a company that actually does this and can help you do this. So we're going to pull up a video now. And the video is just going to give you a bit of a breakdown of a company that can support you in this. So we are going to pull that up now. Let me see where it is. Here we go. Cool. So ladies and gentlemen, please let me know if you have any audio problems. how to fund a coding and robotics at your school is actually what they're talking on, which I think is
The
key.
new
So over
coding
to
and
them.
robotics curriculum will most likely be made compulsory by 2024 or 2025. More and more schools are introducing children to coding and robotics. This can become a very expensive venture. SchoolCoding has partnered with Shooter and Shooter publishers to provide a curriculum for grade R to 9 aligned to the new caps. We currently have the foundation phase workbooks, grade R to 3 available, and the intermediate phase will be released shortly. What are the cost implications to launch a coding and robotics curriculum at your school? Let's have a look at our new budget estimator. Click here to launch our estimator. On our estimator, we have listed the cost of the workbooks for grade R to 3, as well as our license cost per student. To assist your school with their budget and planning for next year, insert the number of learners at your school. For this example, I will use 800. The monthly school fees, let's make it 2,500, and the number of children at your school for grade R, 100, grade 1, 100, grade 2, 100, and grade 3, 100. So these are just estimations. The workbook cost with our shooter workbooks, 35,625 Rand. Our licensing at 100 Rand per student, and this includes our lessons for grade 4 to 7, training, continuous support, access to our Google Classroom with added resources, videos, and teachers' guides. The total cost that you must budget for is therefore 115,625 Rand. Maybe you think that 115,625 Rand is too expensive to budget for. We have the perfect solution to reduce this cost. Let us manage an extramural school coding club at your school. Here at the bottom, you will see you are liable to pay the 115,625 Rand. Type yes. You want us to launch a school coding club, and now you are saving 25,600 Rand. To reduce the cost even further, we can train and support one of your teachers to run the clubs at your school. No experience required, just a willingness to be trained and supported by us. Let's say yes. Now you will pay 0 Rand. The club will fund your 115,625 Rand. How does it work? Out of 800 students, you require 80 children to take part in your extramural coding club at the school. That means there's about 5 sessions in a week. Each session is about 50 minutes long, consists of small classes with a maximum of 18 children in a class. The cost per student is 800 Rand per term. We subsidize this cost to accommodate parents if the school fees are below 2,000 Rand per month. We will create an online shop for your school. We will work with all the registrations and all the enrollments. We will work directly with the parents who enroll their children, and parents can then select the time slot that best suits them. For this school, 2 hours set aside per week on a Wednesday, and an online option as well. And the parents can then enroll in each time slot. This time slot, grade 8 to 9 for the Wednesday, we select on it, is out of stock. Now the parents must choose a different time slot. Let's choose the second slot. There are 6 items available. If the time is not suitable for the parents, then they can also enroll in the online coding club. The same lesson and the same content will also be covered in the online lesson. Our classes are high in demand. We normally have a waiting list. Some classes sell out within 48 hours once open. Follow this link to access our budget estimator. make contact with us. Why not give your children a head start and introduce them to coding and robotics from next year?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I think coding and robotics is becoming such a critical area within schools, within STEM, and we know it's an additional expense. So please, if you want to, in the polls, once again, if you'd like more information from SA SchoolCoding and how they could help you afford it, how they could actually make that happen, please will you just enter that poll. We know it is a need for schools and it plays with STEM. What I am going to do now is that's the formal part of our session over. But what I want to actually do is invite some of our speakers back on stage, and I want to ask them a question. How do we make STEM or STEAM exciting for learners? Because we have a wealth of experience between all of these speakers. So speakers, if you could all jump back on stage, those are that are here. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have to go, please drop off. We don't expect you to stay, but we are going to answer this question with a couple of kind of industry experts for 2 minutes, and then we're going to be finished. So Rajesh, you're on stage. Very simple question, Rajesh. How do you make STEAM exciting for learners?
Practical projects. I hated theoretical learning, and nothing made sense until you actually see things starting to move. And so when you actually build practical projects and you see that happen, things start coming to life, and then there's no looking back.
Awesome. Julia, what would you say as our teacher and lady in the mix today? How do we make STEAM and STEM exciting?
I'd agree with Rajesh. Definitely, you can see a huge increase in buy-in from students when they've got something practical to work with. But I think that it can't just be practical for the sake of being practical. It needs to tie into interests that they've got in the real world as well. So anything that's applicable outside of the classroom, they're going to buy into much more than something just theoretical or just playing with blocks because they can.
Awesome. Jolyn, I think you managed to get onto the screen next. How would you propose making STEAM and STEM exciting?
I think a lot of what we do is that we try and make maths fun. So what we do is we gamify a lot of the questions, and we unlock games for children once they understand or they pass a certain level of the maths to make it a bit more exciting and challenging for them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I look at my kid who is 7, and whenever he can unlock a game, and when he'll just get through the challenge so he can unlock the game. Stephen, from your side, how do we, as a former teacher as well, how do you make it exciting?
I think I definitely agree with Julia. Also, the relevance is key. It's the same that applies for adults. We don't like doing things for the sake of doing them. So why should we expect our children just to do it because we told them to? So if you want them to be engaged, create an activity that is relevant, that has a real world, expression. And for myself, I'm a proponent of project-based learning in STEM activities. I think it lends itself to that, and I think it creates a lot of opportunities to be engaging with your learners through project-based learning also.
Brilliant. Simon, from yourself, how do we make this exciting? I think if anyone, this is one area you can definitely talk into.
Yeah, listen, to continue on the fun and games theme, whether you're a 50-year-old or a 10-year-old, people like to play. People like to have fun. One of the sort of USPs that when we looked at how our schools and teachers were teaching robotics and coding 5 years ago, it was code, build, play. And the feedback we were getting is the attention span drop off for those non-techies in a class, call it 80% of kids, like having to code on screen or scratch to get the rabbit to jump over the hay bale. So what we do is we teach them to fly first, have fun, learn how to fly safely, learn about the responsibilities of flying a drone, then get to build a drone. Then we say, okay, fine, in maths class now, what's the difference between a hexagon, a polygon, and an octagon? So the teacher puts down 6, 8, 12 cones, and she gets them to fly manually over it. And then she says, okay, now I want you to fly autonomously. What? I want you to fly at 45 degrees, 30 centimeters, etc., etc. And so it's learning through making mistakes, through actually physically seeing. How do you demonstrate a sine wave? You draw it on the board, you show a video, you do this with your arm as a math teacher, or you set the dimensions, you get the drone to fly the coordinates of a sine wave. So it's about fun. Obviously relevance. Not every school has the luxury of time to do PBL, project-based learning, but it is more important. And we're seeing more and more schools coming on board, bringing all of the techs that we're offering in. And I come from a non-tech background and a non-education background, and I couldn't teach my kids, and my kids' school wasn't doing it. So it's important. Start somewhere. Start with an extramural.
That's brilliant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much coming to time, but I'm going to ask Julia one last question. Julia, you are in a school. You see something cool as a school you like, and you go, I really want the school to have this cool tech. How do you pitch it to the principal, the governing body, the students? Take us through your process, because I think there's a lot of people, I saw one or two comments, people going, oh, I need to give this to the governing body. So you've obviously managed to win them over with a couple of cool bits of tech. I'm very interested if you can give an encouragement out there to the schools, how they should approach it to introduce some of this amazing tech.
Okay, yeah. So if you're coming in as an entry-level teacher, even if it's not your first time, even if it's not your first year teaching at the school, if you're feeling like you're one of the teachers that don't have a lot of power, your first step would just be climbing up the ranks and getting your HOD on board, sort of inviting your HOD to watch the presentations that you've been most inspired by, and then letting the progression sort of filter upwards that way. And asking your HOD if you can be present whenever they present the idea to your principal together. And really, I think that principals might sometimes seem resistant to new ideas, but really everybody in the school hopefully has got the children's best interest at heart. And so if you're able to motivate why the learners are really going to benefit from this, your principal rather would definitely be able to pick up on that passion, and so go in hopefully with the backing of some member of management with you to support you if needed, and explain how exactly if there are financial implications, how they are going to be offset by the benefits that the students are going to see.
Brilliant. Julia, thank you. I think it's sometimes it helps just having a game plan. As teachers see cool stuff, they know it can help them, but it's another thing getting the school to celebrate and use it. I know there's a lot of free stuff, but there's a lot of paid stuff as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, sadly, that comes to us to an end. Sorry, we've gone over time. We tend to do this a lot. But today's aim was kind of speed dating, allow you to see a couple of organizations to go, could this actually help me in my school? So once again, there is a poll. If you want more info, please just click through all of those, and then tell us, did we do all right? Give us a thumbs up, a smiley face or something, so that we know if we are all right. And then my last comment is, every morning I wake up when I do a webinar and I always put a shirt on and look smart. Today I forgot, and the whole panel was chirping me earlier. So I would just like to say it's cool seeing Rajesh with a hoodie on. So thanks for making me feel all right. Ladies and gentlemen.
I just went and changed just for you, Peter, just to make you feel more inclusive.
Brilliant. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We hope we've been able to showcase products that can help you when it comes to STEM and STEAM. Please watch out. We have more events coming. We're going to be doing our next 2 sets of webinars, one on solar. So if you're in the IT or the tech or operations of the school, solar, and then the other one we're going to be doing, what we're picking up from schools, is there's a big need to understand the impact of screen time, devices, cyberbullying, how to handle it, how to handle the parents when it comes to this. So we know that is a super hot topic, and we're going to be looking for schools that are winning, that have products and solutions and suppliers. So those are going to be our next series of webinars coming out. And once again, our heart and our aim is to try help you as a school lift weights off your shoulder by introducing you to products, solutions, ideas from schools and suppliers that can help you. So we look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for letting us go over time. Thanks for letting me be in my jersey and t-shirt and not collar. Thanks to Rajesh. Thank you to all the speakers, and we will see you soon. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.